Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief overview over some of the new exciting features that are part of the Screencastify recording toolbar. This feature has been rolled out in about the last 7 days. It technically came out on March 22nd. If you don't see this feature yet, you might have to wait a day or two, or there is a link where you can go and update your extension manually, but it does require a couple of clicks, and I'll link that in my description of this video. But there are some exciting new features in this toolbar. You can easily manipulate the toolbar on the screen, unlike the old toolbar. You can have different options for your mouse. Now, if you're a Screencastify user and have been using it for a while, you might notice that some of these features are not entirely new, but they're easier to get to now than they ever have been before. You can highlight your mouse clicks, which is the default setting. There's a focus mouse, fireworks. You can annotate, add emojis, and even have the ability to start and stop your webcam while you're recording. So without further ado, I'm going to show you where you can have access to these options. So right now I'm just going to pull up my Screencastify extension. If you don't have it, make sure you install it. And a really important thing to know here first, before you start doing anything, is that right here where it says show more options, you won't see all of the fancy features of this toolbar unless you turn on show drawing tools. So that's turned off, I turn it on. All right, so here we go. It's going to do my normal countdown like usual, and here is the toolbar. All right. Now, I will warn, if you have this toolbar in the middle of your screen you're recording, it's going to show up there. So you can keep it at the bottom, move it up towards the top, maybe move it to where it's not in the frame of your recording, or if you want to hide it, you can just make it small right there and then move it to an easier corner. But for the sake of showing you how to use these features, I'm going to keep it here in the middle of the screen. So here are the options. If I click mouse, this is where I have options for my mouse. By default, it's set to clicks. What that means is that when I click somewhere, if you notice, it has that red circle, so it draws the user's attention to it. It's set by this by default, but you can turn it back to classic, where it does not have that outline circle when you click, if that's what you prefer. There's the focus option, which can really help your students focus on a specific part of your screen, maybe a place where you want them to navigate to, or if you're using Screencastify to give them feedback, have them focus on a specific phrase or sentence or an item in their project. Classic is just plain old mouse. And here's the fun one. This is fireworks. So the fireworks button, are you ready for it? When you click, it adds fireworks on your screen and it even changes colors. So that's pretty exciting. I did a green one. There we go. There's a different color. So that's kind of a fun option there. And if I want to go back, I can even save this mouse so I can use it more often if I want to. But if I go back, I can go back to my default mouse. All right. And I have some options here as well. So the pen is helpful for annotating. Maybe you want to draw students' attention to a certain point. You can change the color if you need to as well. If I want to clear these, I can clear it here, but there is also an eraser on the main screen. This just eliminates everything a little bit more quickly than what the eraser might do. All right, I can go back. I have the rectangle option, and if you're particular about wanting more accurate shapes and lines and to really draw your students' attention to something, this is a great way to do that. It outlines it, and that's a really helpful option for drawing students' attention to maybe a bigger piece of information, or maybe if you're using this for feedback, a place where you want them to revise their work. So I can leave that there, or I can do clear screen. If I go back, the eraser is a way for me to erase any one of those little tidbits that I've added. I have stickers and emojis as well, and this one is, I think, a really cool option if you're using Screencastify to give students feedback on their work. It's a really more accessible option to give video feedback than just written comments. And sometimes it's a time saver as well. So you can add little emojis onto the screen if you're reviewing a student project. You just stamp it there and it adds it. All right, and I can clear them here or go back to my main screen with my eraser, and it will erase those little pieces little by little. All right, the last thing to know here is that you can start and stop your webcam now on your Screencastify too. So if you only want your webcam to be in parts of the video, maybe it's covering parts of the content in the screen, but you still want to have your face on there from time to time. If I click Start Webcam, and it might take mine a second because I have another application that's trying to use my webcam right now. It'll start and it'll stop, and you can kind of use that as an option for your students. So those are the new features in the Screencastify recording toolbar. I hope that you like them and find them exciting, and that it adds a little bit of sparkle and spark like a firework into your lessons. Let us know if you have any questions.